Hi, Anne. I believe I took a look at this assignment 3 in a drafts review already, so please check there for a little more info. Analogous looks okay here, and monochrome also. With complementary, I can't find cyan there, and with split complements, I want you to go back and check the definition. Your colors you're pointing to on the color wheel aren't precisely right. Now, I see I have still another harmony here. I went back to the discussion to try to see what that was all about, and I'm not exactly sure. I do want to say that I'm pretty interested in some imagery that you posted back in assignment 1. You posted a PDF, and on the second page there was a beautiful shimmery pink oval, and I'd love to see you go a little bit in that direction. I know you're concerned about how to portray the raised design in the digital realm, and I think maybe a little drop shadow could help there. Additionally, if you have questions for me, make sure those go in problems and solutions or in questions for the professor. Well, Christy, from the time that I read your proposal, I thought, gee, um, you are trying to do a lot, and we have to make this a practical matter so that you can accomplish what you want and be proud of it. So, now looking at what you've got here, well, I can see that working with textile design would be easier, but I'm not sure what the text is for. Maybe you want to use the imagery from uh, Disney animations. I'm not entirely sure. Bear in mind that the work should be of your own design. And another thing is with assignment 3, we were trying to take just one design and apply different harmonies to it. And I don't see color wheels here, but let's see how your colors are looking. Analogous is okay. Monochromatic seems largely okay. Split complements, well, I need you to go back and take a look at the definition. And complementary, well, if that brown is a shade of red, you should be okay. Cyan and red are complements. Hi, Brandy. Things look pretty good with your color harmonies. The only little suggestion is with split complements, make sure that one red is red magenta and the other one is a kind of red orange. When I test with a color picker, gee, I'm getting reads that look more like a tint and a shade of the straight red. Now, one other matter, your file looks a little fuzzy here, and I know you saved for web and reduced the resolution. I want you to inspect closely when you do that. Use the 4 up tab so that you can see 4 options. And choose one that looks good. In other words, don't diminish the resolution to the extent that the image starts deteriorating. One more note is it's important to start with 300 pixels per inch, especially if your shapes are curved. Otherwise, later on, things look rather jagged. Edges don't look smooth. Hi, Barbara. I'm taking a look at your assignment 3, and everything looks quite perfect. I noticed that you've made adjustments since the draft phase. I like to see you playing with the width of the stroke. That's most notable, perhaps in monochromatic. All of these look good. Well, hi, Susie. I'm interested to see how all of this translates into paper mache. I suppose perhaps you're using different colors of paper that get layered onto the countertop and create something that's a little like a collage or maybe a marble look. Well, let's see. Monochromatic, I can follow that. Sort of shades of orange. Analogous, those colors, they're so muted. Most of them are entirely neutral from the absolute left edge of the color picker fields. But I see where you're coming from. Now, with complementary, well, I suppose you're talking about the countertop versus the cabinetry, and I'm guessing that you're using some sort of effect to create the pattern on the countertop. And what I'm seeing there is not all yellow, orange. It's all manner of colors. Um, let's see, split complementary. Well, when I check for colors that are used in that countertop, they're turning up orange for the most part, not necessarily red orange or yellow orange, but pretty much orange. I think you have the concept here. The matter is making it evident in the work. Well, hi Alicia, here's your design with the diamonds. Um, let's see. Complementary is okay, and triad looks good too. I notice there's a little transparency, for instance, in the small horizontal diamonds with the green circles in them. I want you to check that. It looks like it's accidental. Sometimes you need to set the opacity on your paint bucket in Photoshop, for example, set it to 100%. You know, monochrome is okay, and analogous is good too. I noticed that you've toyed with the design. There are subtle differences to the design in each of these, which is a nice way to test things out. You know, I understand that you favor complements, but I tend to like the two solutions on bottom. Hello, Trisha. Good job selecting colors for the different harmonies for this symmetrical design. Everything looks really good, and I think you took my bit of advice to start with the color from the color wheel, to pick that color and then choose a color from within the field, because everything is quite accurate. The only little problem I see comes in analogous. I noticed that you point to, I think it's a blue violet on the digital color wheel, and I'm not seeing that blue violet in the harmony, in the design. That's not to say that the design is not a good example of analogous harmony, though. Now, I was wondering, for your final, that's assignment 1 next week, let's take a look at those squares in the corner. Do you think they should overlap the diamond, or maybe they should just barely touch it? I'd say go in one direction or the other. Make the design decision obvious. I'm not sure about those fine lines in the design. They are okay. Perhaps you'll like to try to do something a little different with them. For example, they might be within the large diamond only, not extending beyond it. When I look at this, your analogous harmony looks fuzzy to me, and that's symptomatic of a poor resolution. So just be on guard. Check the resolution. Hi, Carolyn. I can see that you've revised your color harmonies a little bit, and things look quite good. The only thing that I think could be more perfect is monochromatic. I'm getting yellow green, cyan green, and green reeds there. So you want to have just one hue, and then you can pick tints, tones, or shades from that color picker field. Now, about your final project, assignment 1 next week, I'm thinking, what have you investigated in some Native American symbol systems? There are so many really lovely designs. You know, suns and cactuses are okay, but you could probably come up with something that is even more fascinating with a little bit of research. Gabriella, I can see that you revised things here, and they look quite good. In triad and split complements, I think you've got a violet in there that doesn't exactly belong. Additionally, I like you to think about, well, how to juggle different colors to make a pleasing design. A color that's particularly dark in a design that doesn't have many darks is going to stand out. So maybe you want to use more dark elements in an effort to balance things. The same goes for saturated colors. Carly, great job here. Gee, you only had to do 4 color harmonies, but you've got 6. You know, the only little flaw I can find here is in tetrad, it looks like you've got a magenta red instead of a straight magenta. Now, the next task is going to be to make the design a little more complex, and to choose one of your harmonies. You know, in your thumbnail for assignment 2, I like the weaving effect, and I wonder if you can get that going with color or transparency.